This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. The Justice Department announced this week that they would be rescheduling marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug. Bad news for Rob. You know how bad he is with keeping schedules. Am I right? Take my wife, please. Our IP Livecast starts now.
My wife! Welcome to our IP Livecast.
Rob, that sounds like it's better for you. Now there's like 3 schedules, so if you missed one,
you get 2 more tries.
Right, when there was one schedule, you miss it, you're done, you know?
Is that how that
Good
works,
point.
Rob? You have to explain.
We'll get into it. Welcome to our IP Livecast. Rob here with Sid and Darren on a lovely Saturday afternoon. Or I guess it's not. It's pre-noon still, technically, here on the East Coast.
Is it lovely? I woke up 8 minutes ago. How's the weather?
It looks nice.
It's nice outside.
Calm
I'm
down.
exaggerating. I woke up late in bed for a while, but it's very hard for me to get up in the morning, so I need a ramp up. This is very early for me. But I haven't
Would
looked
you
at
ever
Sunday.
consider doing the show from your bed?
I'd have. Recently. Remember when my internet wasn't working? I did it from
Oh,
my bed with
that's
my
right.
phone. It was comfortable. I don't like the video quality, but other than that, I don't mind sitting down that way and doing the show at all.
How long is your microphone cord? Could you take the microphone right now and just lay back down behind you there?
I'd have to set up the shot. It would take forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if it's just the shot, but you're just in bed
Yeah.
with your microphone?
The bed is fully in frame.
I'm so far away. I don't know. I feel disengaged from the audience.
Fair. He's a true professional.
And I have to play sounds. I can't, all that stuff.
Right, you won't have access to your keyboard. That's
You could
Sometimes
just,
so.
Throw
The
a
way that-
slipper and maybe it'll hit the right key on the keyboard.
What about
You
like
need
the
to
way
get-
the sausage is made? Like in the show, like I sometimes have a thought and I want to make a joke out of it, and I can have to Google something. I want to. So like,
Okay.
I don't want to be in my bed. I have to be at my computer for that.
We need to get you one of those wireless keyboards with the trackpad mouse on it, so you can just have it in bed. Like a
You just
Bluetooth.
really want me to be Homer Simpson with the moo on. Like, why? Why is this appealing to you?
No, I'm just running with the joke here.
I got you.
It's a we are on every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. You could stream us live, free and Technicolor Daddy, on Twitch and on YouTube. And then, of course, archived right after, and you can listen in audio form wherever podcasts are downloadable. We'd love to hear from you. We always love your feedback. Shoot us an email. It's been a while since we've heard from you. Yes, you right now listening in your ears. Are you like, is Rob talking about me? Yeah, you. riplivecast@gmail.com. Tell us how your week's going. Tell us something that made you laugh, be it on our show or outside of our show. We just want to check in. How have you been? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
How are you mentally? Are you in a good place? I hope so.
This is a very intimate show.
It is.
Yeah. And of course, you could chat with us 24/7, 365, riplivecast.com. I just said 24/7. I want to quickly mention, I love going down YouTube rabbit holes of classic broadcasts. And I watched this. I forget how I got on this, but I watched this episode of the Joan Rivers show.
Oh,
And for those of you who don't know, Joan Rivers had a very popular long-running daytime talk show. She had a failed nighttime talk show that lasted only a few months, and then she moved to daytime and was far more successful in the format.
She was also a frequent guest host for Johnny Carson for years and years, 10 years maybe.
well,
how she
that's
got
sort of that's
how
why
she got
her
the-
own late night show didn't work, because he saw that as competition and threatened any guests that would go on her show that they'd never be able to go on his show again. And so she couldn't get any guests.
He iced her out. She wasn't able to return to the Tonight Show until Jimmy Fallon hosted the show. It's kind of
Crazy.
crazy how long.
Not even Leno. Leno, of course, the big suck
Of
up.
course,
wasn't
yeah.
gonna go.
Conan wouldn't have her.
Well, I think with Conan, I'm sure he would have had her, but he wasn't
big
on long
for her.
enough.
Yeah.
Well, no, like it just didn't
Joan.
work out with. She just wasn't on a promo cycle.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
At the time that he was on the air for the 5 weeks or whatever.
Oh.
But no, so anyway, I was watching it. So she had the cast of Paris is Burning on her show.
Oh, wow.
And Paris is Burning is a very famous, iconic documentary about the late 80s, early 90s ballroom scene. And, there's elements of drag, elements of gay, trans culture. It's a great documentary if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you could probably just watch it on YouTube at this point. It's so ubiquitous. But what was so funny is that one of the drag queens was like, I just do drag 24/7, and Joan was like, what is that term? What is that term? 24/7. I love that. What is that? Oh, I'm gonna use that all the time. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say 27/4 all the time, and everyone's gonna. I love it. Oh.
This whole time, I'm not joking. I thought you meant drag. I thought she was.
Oh no, no. I didn't realize 24/7 was coined in the early 90s, I guess, or late 80s. It was always something in my life. I didn't realize it's such a relatively new slang term.
It was a hip hop thing. It was like,
right.
24/7 was a nickname, like a hip hop nickname for all the time. And they just
24/7. What's that? And then 24 hours, 7 days. Oh, I love that. Oh,
can we talk about 24/7? 24/7 is the total number of husbands that I've had. Oh. That wasn't one of her. That wasn't one of her things, right? She had one husband. That wasn't her material.
Yeah, it was probably more like the amount of orgasms the men gave me or something. Or like I get
not.
Yeah. But we'd workshop it.
Yeah, whatever. For the screenplay that we're writing about Joan Rivers.
What made you look into Joan Rivers all of a sudden? Are you watching the new season of Hacks?
No. It was more through the Paris. Now I remember how Inside Edition is so low rent now that they just essentially do clickbait videos. Okay. And they just had one, the drag queen who had a mummy in her closet.
What?
Well, it was. Well, this was a storyline on Pose, if you recall.
Oh, well, that wasn't exactly a mummy in the closet.
Right.
I didn't realize that was based on a true story.
Oh, yeah, it's based on one of the women in Paris is Burning who actually did that. And then, when she died, her apartment was being cleaned out, and people were like, what's that smell? And then they opened this trunk, and there was a mummified person in there. As someone from the sea, I forget who it was. So they just went through the story. And so, through that, there was a clip of her on, I believe her name is Pepper LaBeija, on the Joan Rivers show. And I'm like, I want to look this up. And it's a whole 1 hour episode. It's really fascinating just how welcoming Joan is of trans people. In 1990, she asks the drag queens what her preferred pronouns are.
Oh, wow.
Which I
and
thought
not
was
in
very
a condescending way, like a "what are you" kind of way, but like a.
No, she was like, "Do I call you he or she?" And the drag queen is like, "You can call me whatever you want." Okay, he, like something like that. Right. And no, it was not condescending at all. There was maybe like a little bit of white savior kind of. Stuff.
Yeah, I'm presenting you to the people.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there was a little bit of that, but still, it was still like, I just imagine for somebody in Idaho or Wyoming, it's crazy to have this window into this very niche scene in New York at the time that would become what it is now, or honestly, even for me watching it in South Brooklyn, whatever it would be, it's cool that she gave these type of people a platform. And it's completely different than when I've watched videos of club kids who are, cousins to the drag queens in terms of style. They would be on Geraldo.
Oh, yeah.
And it's far more expletive. It's far more Zookeeper. Like, look at these weirdos we brought out. Whereas Joan, she's celebrating them. She's not, there was no mocking.
For her.
That's
But
pretty
I
surprising.
remember Inside Edition when it first started, like having at least pretensions to being like an expose type news magazine. And wasn't
Right.
Bill O'Reilly? Bill O'Reilly's the guy. That's where that clip comes from. With the
Yeah.
do it live, do it live.
Well, they were just a syndicated news magazine
It's like
with
a
hard
current
copy. It was
affair
a
or
1
hard
hour,
copy, yeah.
a 1 hour package they would sell.
But slowly it started going towards like the National Enquirer.
Well, if you think about it, it's kind of like how media on Facebook was. At first, you start reporting on real news, then you get the ratings back, and you see like, oh, what's working are these crazier, wackier stories,
Right.
and then you just kind of keep chasing that dragon of upping the ante of ridiculous's.
And then you get to a drag queen with a mummy in their closet.
It is a great story, though. I will say, it's pretty wild.
Is the mummy a he or a she? I had a mummy in my closet. His name was Edgar.
100%. That's a joke she would have made.
100%.
Oh my God.
100%. But yeah, so maybe we should. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a watch along movie. Paris is Burning, because it's not.
Yeah.
You don't make fun of it, but we would laugh with it, perhaps. But we'd see. But
I'm for the panel shows. I'm a big proponent
Oh, yeah.
of doing more of those, especially for good movies.
Yeah.
But let's see. What else is going on in the world? Well, we talked about the Schedule 3. I wanted to talk about this very quickly because I feel that the Biden administration is purposely being very broad and like, we did it. Like, they're celebrating, but it's very confusing what they're actually doing. Like, in our pre-show chat, I was talking about this, and Sid, you had no idea what any of this even means.
I know it's like how the federal government views like how bad a drug is, but I don't know if Schedule 3 is good or bad, or
Yes. Okay. So
what the difference is.
Schedule 1 is essentially like the worst, the most dangerous type of drug. To the point that like they're saying there's no medical use for it. It's purely danger. Which
it's toxic. It's a toxin.
Yes, exactly. And then the further down you go, the less toxic it is, the more perhaps medical use it has, but it requires regulation. And so, for example, with the Schedule 1 drug, the problem with it, why marijuana advocates for a long time opposed this scheduling, which started with the Nixon administration, as a way to start arresting people who were protesting for the Vietnam War, because it was mostly hippies and black people, and so they smoked pot. So he was like, let's put them in jail for that.
Hippies can be black people, Rob.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. I shouldn't do that. Okay. Anyway,
I'll call that a southern accent just to get your back.
Thank you. But for a long time, I remember since even I was a wee lad and being a weed revolutionary, I remember like, this is the least you could do is change the scheduling because it is a Schedule 1 drug. You can't get any government funding for studies about the either benefits or harm. Like, there hasn't been any concrete studies about like the true long-term effects of weed. Like, for example, for me personally, I always wonder like, what are the effects of weed on the lungs? There haven't been any studies about it. And I've even gone to doctors, medical fucking doctors, be like, oh, it's fine. It's just tobacco is bad for you. This is fine. And I'm like, but no, that doesn't. I finally went to a lung specialist who was like, all of those doctors are fucking lying to you. What are you talking about? Lungs can't naturally handle smoke. Like, regardless, it's smoke. Smoke is bad for you.
Is it fair to say that it's well, let me just rephrase the question. Since we're just talking about the smoke and not the chemicals inside, is weed as bad for your lungs as cigarettes are? Keeping in mind that cigarettes do other things to your body.
I have to think it's less bad because of that.
Right, because there are no additives, theoretically, it is less bad. However, you are still like any sort of smoke you inhale, even like smoke from a barbecue, like if you're inhaling it, it's bad for you. You're not like humans are not supposed to do that.
Or let's say
So
it's a
the
June day.
carcinogens. Like here's the consumption of marijuana on its own is not harmful.
Right.
If you consume it as an edible, there's plenty of ways to consume it, as a
Delivery
cream,
method.
whatever. Yeah, the delivery method is where the health level varies, and smoking would be the least healthy way to consume marijuana. So with that said, there hasn't been any real studies about it because it's a Schedule 1 drug, and you really can't say one way or the other. It's all speculation, or depending on international studies, and we're fucking America. We're not going to depend on some other country's studies. Fuck that.
And is that because like they don't research it because like it would be seen as legitimizing a Schedule 1 drug? And in other words, we're going to see what this does, and then that's sort of like saying it is a world where you could smoke this.
No, I believe you're just not allowed because it is a Schedule 1. They do not. The government legally does not allow you to.
I think we're kind of saying the same thing. I'm saying they don't allow that because of the appearance. That why are we looking into this drug?
Right, yes.
You should never.
Is it that they don't allow the research, or they just don't fund the research? Like a private.
Let me start reading this article because I know for sure they address this point. So this is from the AP, and this is the thing. When Biden announced this, he fucking tweets like a victory lap, like the mission accomplished banner, basically, of like, we did this, folks.
Well, we've seen what happens when he runs, so that's.
Well, here I wanna read what he wrote. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana, which is funny to me because I feel like he was one of the biggest proponents of this failed approach back in the day. But today, the Justice Department is taking the next step to reclassify marijuana from Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug under federal law. Here's what that means. He doesn't say what it means. He says,
it means
right now
we'll be out of prison within 6 months.
Right now, marijuana has a higher classification than fentanyl and methamphetamine, the two drugs driving America's overdose epidemic. That just doesn't add up. I'm surprised he didn't put Jack at the end of it. That just
because he didn't write it himself, or else he would have.
True.
Doesn't add up.
At my request, I bet at his request. At my request, and guided by science and evidence, HHS and DOJ have studied the drug's medical use and abuse and dependency potential, and are recommending rescheduling, concluding reclassification would remove barriers to critical research. And then he goes, no one should be in jail for using or possessing marijuana. Notice, distributing marijuana, you should be in jail for, he's implying.
Right.
Today's announcement builds on the work we've already done to pardon a record number of federal offense. Like, listen to this word. Today's announcement builds on the work we've already done to pardon a record number of federal offenses for simple possession of marijuana. So general and obtuse. I'm committed to righting those historic wrongs. You have my word. You know how you can right those historic wrongs? Just fucking executive order legalize it. Boom, done. Because here's the thing about this. Here's what I kept looking at. I'm like, wait, what does this mean? What does this mean? And then finally, this AP article actually spells out exactly what it means. And what it means, spoiler, is absolutely, this is like almost nothing so far.
What does it
He's
mean?
done nothing. So here, the Justice Department on Thursday formally moved to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug, a historic shift in generations of U.S. drug policy. A proposed rule sent to the Federal Register recognizes the medical uses of cannabis and acknowledges it has less potential for abuse than some of the nation's most dangerous drugs. The plan approved by Merrick Garland would not legalize marijuana outright for recreational use. Womp womp. The Drug Enforcement Administration will next take public comment on the proposal in a potentially lengthy process. If approved, the rule would move marijuana away from its current classification as a Schedule 1 drug alongside heroin and LSD. Pot would instead be a Schedule 3 substance along ketamine and basic steroids. The move comes after a recommendation from the Federal Health and Human Services Department, which launched a review of the drug status at the urging of Joe Biden. The note. Here we go.
That's literally what Joe Biden wrote.
Yeah, it's really like all the Joe Biden stuff. Yeah. The notice kicks off a 60-day comment period. Followed. Whenever I hear that, I just think of Parks and Recreation when they have those town halls, and everyone just comes in with their stupid shit. Like that's what this is going to be. Followed, but from like Christian fundamentalists about the dangers of marijuana.
Pat Oswalt walks in and reads the Star Wars trilogy.
That's right.
Followed by a possible review from an administrative judge, which could be a drawn-out process. Biden and a growing number. So this means basically they might not even get this passed in the time that if Biden loses the election.
Who decides if it passes or not? Who's the final say?
The Justice Department.
But he runs the Justice Department, so if he wants it passed, it's going to pass.
Listen,
it's
Jack,
just a question of who's president by the time it's actually up for that vote.
I got to ask the Justice Department, the fine boys over there. I got to ask them if it's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. An administrative judge would have to review the comment period, so it could be a long process. So essentially, they waited too long to do this. This is not going to pass in time for the election. And even if this does pass, it's such a minor step at this point that it really wouldn't do anything. Like it would not have the impact of, hey, I legalized weed, which was his promise during the last election.
It sounds like a way of doing a toothless version of something you don't really want to do and knowing it'll not pass or be toothless. And that's what they did with the student debt thing. Like he said, I'm going to get rid of student debt. I'm going to or get rid of 90%. I forget what the number was, some huge amount of student debt. And then they purposely did something very toothless that absolved like 1% of student debt. And the rest of it it was like part of a bigger bill, and the rest of it got shot down. So it's like we know this is going to get shut down, and we hope it gets shut down. But
and this
looks
article
like we tried to do it,
and how he says like they've let people go for this. This article points out that there are very few federal cases of possession, which means if you get caught with weed, it's usually on the state level. So there's not even that many people for like possession. It's more for the distribution that they would be caught on the federal level.
And what makes it a federal case? Is it an amount, or is it they were doing something else that got them in trouble?
I believe it's when you cross state lines.
Okay,
it would be. So they were traveling with it. It's ridiculous. I mean, but if he made it federally legal, all of those state possession things would then suddenly not be valid anymore.
Rob, question for you. Chuck Klosterman.
Yes.
If this is not going to happen, so this is a pure Chuck Klosterman question.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll wait till you get it out of your system.
Okay, I'm done.
If Joe Biden got so panicked that he was going to lose the election, that he whipped out a pen and said, I actually legalized weed, would you then vote for him?
No.
Okay. Me neither.
I mean, like, great, thank you, but tough titties. It's too late now.
He can't.
I feel at this point there's I can't think of what, like, there would have to be, he would have to legalize weed, nationalize healthcare. like he would have to do so much in these last 6 months for me to be like, wow, I guess, I guess I was wrong. I guess, all right.
He would have to resurrect 35,000 dead Palestinian babies.
No, that's not true, Darren. It's only, the babies are only like 15 to.
I don't know. That's an old number, I think, man. It was 30,000 in like fucking March.
It's so funny to me. Like I don't want to, when people sort of like, well, when people go, oh, that's an exaggerated number. I'm like, who cares? Okay. What's the number then?
Yeah.
4,000. So 4,000 is okay.
How many dead babies are you okay with?
How many are you okay? Like even taking that at face value.
Right.
All right. First of all, like, why would they do that? But second of all right. So what's the number? And that's okay. Like
any number but also any number you hear is understated. Not because of malfeasance. Like I think they're Their journalists are colluding, and no, not even through a conspiracy theory, just because they're fucking. It's a war zone, and there's babies under rubble and shit. Like they're not going to count.
The
every
people haven't
single
been
dead
claimed
person.
yet. Yeah.
I just can't imagine fucking in such heat to make all these babies. Like, how do you get yourself in the mood? It's so uncomfortable.
They don't have electricity because of Israel. There's nothing.
Yeah, no air conditioner.
That's true, but no TV. Nothing to do but that.
I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't be fucking.
They're young. They're virile.
What?
Young and virile.
They have an indomitable human spirit, Sid, that overcome. Well, you could also say they're used to it because they've been in a war zone forever, and it's hot there all the time. So.
I guess so.
But there's more. Like I think the majority of Palestinians are children, right? More than 50%.
Yeah, it's just because people keep dying.
Yeah, but then the babies keep dying too, so maybe it'll catch up.
I guess that's what Israel's hoping for.
They're hoping for all of them to be wiped.
Well, yeah. If you knock them out on both ends of the life cycle, then eventually there's going to be nothing left.
It's a tie, we win. What do you think of my BB impression?
I don't think he's ever sounded that happy.
Yeah, he also has like a much deeper voice.
It wasn't meant to be BB. It was just a random IDF person. But what about doesn't BB sound a little bit like Bernie Sanders to you?
I could sort of like a younger.
We are taking care of Hamas.
Like the Chad Bernie Sanders.
We are clearing them out. Yes, if Bernie Sanders had good posture.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders that joined the football team in high school.
I scored 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes Muffler says Gene Simmons. Yeah, that's a nice happy medium.
The dead Palestinian babies will be put in our kiss coffins. We'll tailor make kiss coffins to any size, shape, and dimension of human beings.
Oh my God. It's probably true. You know, speaking of all this, the dead Middle East people stuff.
Oh,
I watch New York One News, and they have their little feature every morning where they go through the local newspapers, and they'll just show you like the big stories in the local newspapers. And anytime they show like the Post reporting on a dead Israeli hostage, it's always like a hot girl that died, and they have like pictures of her like swimsuits and shit. Like we're supposed to be sadder because she was good looking. It's so fucking ridiculous, and it's like half a dozen times they've done this.
And does the anchor comment on that phenomenon?
No, it's very dry and just like reading the facts of the story. But the pictures that the Post has are just like this 20-year-old girl in like a fucking with a bare midriff.
Now I want to,
it's such a tragedy because she was pretty. Is the basic point.
I want to say this for our listeners and viewers who are not in New York, and I haven't seen what Sid's talking about in about 5 years.
Okay.
But my ex-wife used to wake up and watch this religiously, so I would see this every single day. What he's talking about is the anchor physically holds up the newspaper and just reads out of it. It's not like it's on a
kind
screen.
of ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, I think
they have shots on the screen now, and he's not like word for word reading the paper, but he's just summarizing various stories. Yeah.
But he sits there with a stack of newspapers, right? And he's like, all right, literally, let's look at the next one.
Yeah.
It's the epitome of just like killing time. Like, let's get through this. Let's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't cover like world stories on New York One. It's like at the most it'll be like a couple of minutes on a nationwide thing, and then the rest of it is New York State and New York City.
I'm gonna see if I could find like an online version of this story.
You mean the woman that got killed that had a bikini on?
Yeah, the sexy hostage.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't Google sexy hostage though.
Was she hot?
Yeah, but it's just strange to me that there's so many easily accessible photos of these hostages in like half naked states of dress. It's very weird.
You gotta appeal to people's pathos if you want them to support war, you know. Can't show like an 80-year-old grandmother or something in a bikini.
Well, you could. I'd like just for the variety's sake.
Yeah, and someone will be out there be jerking off to that. You know that.
It takes all kinds.
Well, on the topic of weed, I wanted to mention one other story that circulated a few weeks ago. It came out that Steve O, famous jackass Steve O.
I don't think I've ever heard it pronounced like that, as if it's an initial, Steve O.
Or like he disrobed while you were saying his name, like Steve. Oh. Okay, I found the link, by the way. I'll share it in the chat.
Cool. We'll get back to that.
Steve O. Well, hold on. Let me just look. Now that we have this link, before I get into this, Steve O.
It's not a bikini that she's in, but still, it's like it's clear that they're playing up how hot she was.
Oh.
If you scroll.
Oh.
What is this hair?
Yeah. I don't know.
She's an Earth child.
It's like Pocahontas.
She's a free spirit, Rob.
Symbol of the savagery.
Ah, yes. There's like a mass grave of Palestinians behind her in every picture. Look at the savagery. They killed this one woman.
I want justice for the ugly hostages. That's what I'm here for. They deserve their own glamour shots in the post as well. Just because they were disgusting to look at doesn't mean their lives are any less valuable. Come on now.
But what if they just avoided cameras so these photos are not available?
Oh, well, all right. That's fair. I mean, that's what I do.
They just look like Jabba the Hutt. They don't go near a fucking... Not saying you, Sid. You just pathologically don't like cameras.
Do you think when they took the hostages, they factored that kind of stuff in? Like, oh, that person's too heavy to carry across? Like, leave them take phones?
Yeah. What if
That's
they're
how
all
they
hot?
decide who to murder and who to take?
No.
It
might have made more sense to take the fat ones, though, because they probably stay alive longer. Like, even if you starve them out, like, they've got more meat to burn, so...
Maybe that's why Jerry Seinfeld is so, intense about the IDF.
It's all these girls he could have dated.
Oh, that too. I just meant like he's passionate about like ugly people because he is one.
Oh, ugly on the inside more so than on the outside. I think he's disturbingly handsome for a 70-year-old.
I would say he's in good shape for a 70-year-old. Handsome is a different thing to me.
I just feel like he looks better now than he did on his show.
He looks the same. He looks like a schlub, but the fact that you told me that man is 70, yes, I'm impressed. I agree with you on that score.
Billions of dollars, they really go a long way towards keeping you looking young.
Why does Hamas never kidnap a fat chick? What is the deal?
They walked out on his speech at Duke.
Yeah.
People were very upset.
I would say, though...
You can't even make a speech at Duke anymore.
You can't even make a speech defending genocide at Duke. I would say it was not enough people. I looked at that video. I was hoping...
But it's Duke. Isn't Duke like a fairly right-leaning school in general? Like with their...
Yes. No, I'm not speaking to the school itself. I'm just saying I was not enough people for me to be impressed by it is all.
Oh, okay. All right, fair.
There's 8 people walked out. I would love to see Seinfeld humiliated en masse, like the whole student body walked out of this fucking speech. That would be amazing. But... Where are you going? You don't know what's funny. Get back here. You don't know.
Did he? He didn't talk about Israel in his speech. I'd have to assume he's not.
No, I don't think so.
He did 8 minutes about Jamba Juice or something.
Yeah, exactly. He probably walked out because it was just fucking boring as fuck.
What is this hackneyed shit you're doing?
Yeah.
Hey, why are you anti-Semitic?
What is this? The guy from B movie?
Why is he
Look out
here?
of here. They don't know Seinfeld.
I'm in a Pop-Tart movie, goddammit.
Yeah.
And don't worry, folks. At the top of the month, we do watch the Pop-Tart movie, and we do suffer through it just for you on our Patreon. So we'll talk about that.
Not the movie.
But yeah, so with Steve O.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Steve O was invited on Bil Maher's somehow successful podcast, Club
it really?
Random.
Is it?
I mean, look, I guess The numbers look pretty good. I looked it up. The Club Random is a show that Bil Maher does in his garage.
Studio.
That looks like the garage of like a sexual predator. It looks like you know who looks like the garage of a fucking Quagmire from Family Guy. You know, like a fucking sexual predator. And he invites people to his 1 hour talk show where they just sit there and Bil Maher gets high. The other person can get high, can drink whiskey. It's just bros being bros, and sometimes women being bros, you know. So Steve-O was invited on the show, and Steve-O is 16 years sober. And if you've watched any early Jackass, you know what a feat that is, because that man loved to drink, needed painkillers for the stuff he was putting his body through. And so I'm sure he takes his sobriety very seriously, especially seeing as though one of his close friends died from drunk driving, and one of his other close friends has been battling addiction. You know, it's not easy.
And then Bam Margera died, according to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
My good friend Bam, R.I.P.
So he was like, "Hey, I'll do your show, but just please don't smoke pot around me." And I guess he said this in an interview where he requested that Bil Maher not smoke pot, and Maher wouldn't agree to the terms. Now, Bil Maher,
so he ended up not being on the show.
Correct.
What a huge loss for both of them.
Bil Maher now acknowledges this, which is so funny to me because he leaked a quote from a future episode with guest Tony Hawk. He confirms the story, but expresses no regret over turning the Jackass alum down. That Steve-O guy was taking shots at me in the press recently. It was an unfortunate, I don't want to start a feud, and I'm sorry that he felt slighted or something, but it's ridiculous that somebody thinks that I should give up pot smoking because they have a problem.
Well, give up for what? For an hour?
That I'm sorry you came here. Like,
I want you to quit for the rest of your life.
I am so embarrassed to be a pot smoker, to be linked anywhere near Bil Maher. You know, there was a time where I was honored that someone is quote unquote dignified as Bil Maher spoke up for marijuana. Now I feel the complete inverse. Like, please shut the fuck up. Yeah. You make the rest of us look bad.
Rob just threw his bong out the window after reading that quote.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, I thought about it. Maher noted that the Club Random podcast is his house, so the guests have to play by my rules.
New rule: guy who sticks firecrackers up his ass doesn't get to dictate what I do with my lungs.
I already have another show. It's called Real Time. It's on HBO, and it's very much not with pot. This is different. This is just shooting the shit, and this is how I shoot the shit. This is an attempt to get conversation as real as it ever is. And if I'm not stoned, it's not a real conversation.
Who on the fucking planet Earth is clamoring for a real conversation between Bil Maher and Steve-O? Why? Why is this a thing that exists?
Or Bil Maher and
almost
anybody.
Happened? Huh?
Who wants to hear Bil Maher talk to anybody?
Yes, but like...
The only people who like Bil Maher are like boomers, like, you know, that anti-Trump boomers.
Yeah, but they don't care about Steve-O.
That's my point. Is like, who is this show for? Like, my mother loves Bil Maher. Okay, fine. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna quarrel with her about that. But is she gonna watch Bil Maher smoke weed and talk to Steve-O?
No, it doesn't make sense.
No,
that's why. Like, how is it successful? I don't get it.
I want to read this last paragraph in the story in Variety about this. As Steve-O's story gained traction on social media platforms like X last month, some users pointed out that Maher had in fact respected his guests' boundaries for marijuana in the past. During Sheryl Crow's appearance on Club Random, Maher told her, "That's when I need a joint, but I'd never light one up in front of you." He refrained from smoking in front of her.
Okay.
For the same reason?
I don't know
Or-
for the same reason or not, but
She's a lady.
Yeah, I don't, is she also in recovery? I don't.
I know she was an alcoholic, right? I don't know about weed. I think she was.
Either way, that's I think they're both fine for not having done that interview. I think
Yeah.
there are no victims here.
the fans are the real victims.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have had a cancer cure that arose from that show.
Maybe that's a watch along we could do at some point. Find like the shittiest guest Bil Maher has ever had on that show and force ourselves to watch it.
Oh, just clips even. Remember that one girl that was on? I don't even remember who she was, like some actress he had on, like an ingenue or something. And she just starts smoking weed and she's like vibing out. And he starts saying this transphobic shit. And she's like, fucking, she just starts rolling her eyes at him.
I think it would be too easy to just do clips because there's probably so many that would be so easy for us to goof on. I want to suffer through like the lulls of one of these awkward, shitty interviews. I think
okay.
that's where the real gold can be found.
Why do you hate me? Bil Maher.
Like, does he ever interview Johnny Galecki? Let's get that on
Oh,
Patreon.
wow.
Or some shit
Oh,
like that.
I could
Frankie Muniz and Bil Maher just hanging out for an hour.
What do you, all the
Getting real
teen
with each
sitcom
other.
stars we're doing now? Rerun from What's Happening?
Oh, that's too good. Is that guy still alive? There's no way Rerun is still
Fred
alive.
Berry, he's dead. He died a long time ago. He died near the end.
2003.
Yeah. Oh, that's even later than I thought. I was gonna say like nearly after that reboot happened, he died.
Natural causes. He died at 52 of natural causes.
As
Shit,
big as a house, expect.
that's
He lost
rough.
a bunch of weight and he was still enormous. I remember.
He was married 4 times.
Oh, that's why he got the name Rerun.
One lady he married twice, and then 3 other ladies. So he was married to 4 different women 5 times.
Oh,
This guy had a life, man.
yeah, he packed a lot into those 52 years. A lot of
Yeah.
eating, a lot of screwing.
Good for him.
Yeah. He had to be on the bottom, right? I mean, I wouldn't know. Wait, he's like on top of somebody.
Did he ever have a sex tape? Is there a Fred Berry sex
Oh,
tape?
please! You couldn't catch
Did
all
he
of
have
it.
footage of Fred Berry fucking that he squirreled away somewhere in his vault?
He's blackmailing Rerun. You need Panavision to get his whole body into the shot.
I'm gonna release these tapes unless you teach me those dance moves.
You know that panoramic shot in the Biggie video where they're on the boat and the
Uh-huh.
Biggie. That's who used the same camera to shoot Fred Berry's sex tape.
Was Fred Berry the original Biggie Smalls?
He's fucking on an aircraft carrier. Yeah, he was cast as Biggie, and then like he found this guy was a better rapper. And Fred Berry had to run off to Hawaii for his 3rd honeymoon. So that's how Biggie was
With
born.
Faith Evans.
Oh shit, he was supposed to be with Faith Evans. They didn't get along. He married someone else. All your Fred Berry humor, your repository for Fred Berry humor, who died before most of our audience was born. Joe Franklin, Fred Berry, we do all the hits here. Inside
Never
edition.
like a Doobie Brothers concert. That's the punchline here.
Didn't someone get in trouble for scalping at that show? That's what that sitcom episode was.
Wasn't it bootlegging? Like he had like the tape recorder and then it fell out of his
Oh, maybe.
shirt. And
There
they
definitely was
Doobie
a
Brothers
scalping
song.
episode. I might be melding 2 of them together.
Okay, probably right. Maybe that was what's happening now.
Oh,
that had the
yeah.
scalping.
Fred Berry and Shirley Hemphill probably had a sex tape. You think? Is that possible?
I hope so. What a power couple that would have been.
Oh, Empire would have been the Empire. That's what that show was. Empire. That's what that show was based on. They just tweaked it a little.
Oh my god. Rob, are you okay? You're sitting this
doing
out. Do you
good.
have any issues with Fred Berry, and that's why you're protesting this segment?
I think he's done some things in his past that are very questionable.
Oh,
I
no.
don't really no, I don't really have much a frame of reference for Fred Berry. He's a little before my time. I mean, I know in the general sense of rerun, but I didn't watch Good Times.
He was before my time.
Wow, you
too.
didn't watch Good Times.
Oh.
Darren, did you?
I
Wow.
don't know. Did I get it wrong?
It was What's Happening. You racist
What's happening?
fuck.
Well, there you go. I don't know.
Wow.
Damn, rerun.
Oh man.
Which one was Good Times?
Oh,
I
man.
see.
Oh, I see.
Good
Yes.
Times was the Maud spinoff.
Dynamite.
I see the slightly different black people.
Oh, come on. Stop it.
rough.
I don't know why I'm going to do this, but to be fair to Rob, they were both like trying to do a similar type of show. You know, they're
What's
not very
Happening was way
similar.
more lighthearted.
Oh yeah, but like the premise for the show.
Yeah.
Well, I never watched either.
And by the way, Fred Berry was not even the fattest person on that show because the mother was like twice his size.
She was taller also.
And she played the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wiz.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
in the
god.
movie version.
Okay. Wow.
It's really
watch-
good. Like, I'm not a big fan of The Wiz, but that scenes that she's in, she steals the shit out of them. She's great.
I saw that when I was a kid. I have not seen it since, so I have no recollection.
It's actually controversial because like she has like a sweatshop, I think. Like that's her thing, and it's portrayed as slavery.
Okay, but
Basically.
it's supposed to be bad.
She's the evil,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But to use that imagery in like a musical, people complained about it, I think.
And then Michael Jackson just wanted the numbers of those kids. Is like, gonna have that sweatshop afterwards?
Oh, did he act on his impulses yet by that age? I don't know.
Probably. It was probably less frowned upon because he was young himself.
Maybe he was like 23 though. You still can't. Something like that. I don't know. I'm guessing 77. That movie.
78, 77. That sounds right.
Okay.
78.
Rob, any comments on The Wiz? I mean,
Did you do a
Dreamgirls.
production of that in high school?
I also have not seen that. No.
That's
Not
impressive.
good. Has a few very iconic, memorable scenes, and then a lot of it is cheesy.
Diana Ross.
Yeah, with that cast, you would think it would be great. Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell is the Tin
I
Man.
forgot about that. That's right.
And,
Wait, who was the Scarecrow?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And the lion is who's the lion? I think not someone that famous. Maybe I'm
Not
wrong.
Fred Berry.
No.
Well, I wanted to talk about Slaughter to Prevail,
Oh boy.
the Russian deathcore band.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention somebody shared this old Instagram post that the frontman Alex the Terrible
Accurate.
wrote, because if you recall, we watched videos where he's like wrestling a bear.
Right.
He's very outdoorsy or whatever. So I want Darren, can you read this comment that he posted? I want you to read it in a obviously in a Russian accent.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm surprised that did because you're actually Russian, but I'll do it. Ha ha ha! Shit, comments goes crazy. Long story short, guts start to fuck my leg.
If I could just Guts is his dog. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's a comment. He's replying to a previous comment he posted. Don't we want to share that first?
Oh, a previous comment.
Well, he asks a question
Oh,
in that
who
first
has a
post.
male? There we go. Who has a male? Okay, go ahead. Darren, go ahead.
Who has a male dog? Sabaka. Do you jerk him off?
Then
Ha 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 ha! Shit, comments goes crazy. Long story short, guts start to fuck my leg every time. And I asked breeder, maybe he would find some bitch for guts because he wants to fuck, right? So he said, jerk him off. I was like, ha ha ha, very funny. And he was like, nope, I am not joking, sir. And I was like, what? And then, if I want to breed him, I also need to collect sperm, because this breed can't fuck proper way or some shit. And they also say there is app with people who's doing this. So here I am with my weird questionable.
So to be clear, he never said he actually jerked off his dog. He's just asking if anyone else
If anyone has tips.
jerked off their dog and if they have tips.
No, Robert. I ask if anyone ever jerk off my dog. Because I would fucking kill them.
He's very
Also,
jealous.
it's so funny to me that this very tough guy, like, this is the photo that he posts when asking about
Very metrosexual.
jerking off. Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
That gelled hair.
Doesn't he usually
He
have like a weird
whites
like
his teeth.
metallic face mask?
He does, yes, but he takes it off. The rest of the band has to wear it though.
What?
During
all
their
times?
performances when they're performing live.
Oh. So it's like Slipknot,
so.
but like the Transformers version.
So maybe the white face is dog cum now that we hear this story.
Oh my god, but he's got to save that for the breeding. He can't just
Well, it's
take
like
it on the
Exit.
grill.
So whatever doesn't fit in the petri dish.
Don't let a drop go to waste.
Why does Will use it, bleh?
What kind of breed of dog is this that doesn't know how to fuck properly? Rob, ask Babka. What's the worst lay she's ever had?
Oh,
Oh, it was this Russian dog one time.
Rob was at a Slaughter to Prevail show. He took me along.
Because he loves them so much.
interestingly, it seems as though he has deleted. Oh no, here it is. Comments here. I wonder
Do
if
we
he
have any
follows up
pictures
on it.
of the dog?
Let's see.
Do you want to jerk off now?
I just want to know what this weird, diseased, brain damaged breed of dog is that doesn't know how to fuck. It needs to be jerked off.
At least he could still produce sperm.
Yeah, well, maybe. He hasn't done it yet, so we don't know.
That's true. We need
Well-
updates, Rob.
That dog might just come dust. Oh. Eh.
Oh,
Is that a Rottweiler, I guess? What is that?
some kind of breed, I think, like a crossbreed. Looks like,
Oh, his dog has its own Instagram. Of course it does.
Of course he does. Guts the terrible, bleh. I am the Guts is the name of the account.
Oh my god.
With 2 T's in guts. I love that he's posting photos cuddling with his dog.
It looks like they
He's
just
not so
fucked.
terrible.
It looks like he's laying next to his woman who he just banged out. Like this is
Yeah.
really sexual. This is fucking
Yeah, he took a little shot of the dog in the morning like you do to your girlfriend. Look how hot my girlfriend is. Look at my hot girlfriend snoring. Isn't that funny?
Guts.
Also, is that
how
just like a
can I
mattress
sleep,
on the
Guts?
floor?
Guts, wake up, please.
That's how real men sleep.
I cannot sleep. Guts, come on, dude. Jesus Christ.
Does he have a
Oh my God.
Hackenkreuz tattooed on his
Sorry
body
about that.
anywhere? Guts?
Man, this is you're so right. Like he is like that meme of like a guy will move into a house and have like a $5,000 home entertainment system, but then won't have a bed frame.
Yeah.
Like you're a fucking rock star, dude. Get a bed frame. What the like? Have it built for you. You know, you don't even have to do it yourself.
Is he really a rock star?
I cannot sleep.
Yes. He's playing festivals. People know, like they're a big band. He's fine. He's making money. He's at
Letters
the
to
very
Cleo
least-
play festivals. I don't know that I'd call them rock stars.
He's
Rob,
at the
for sure.
very least a working class rock star. He's
I wasn't-
absolutely.
I wasn't taking offense with your actual point, which is yes, he should have a bed. He's rich
Yeah.
enough to have a bed frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the use of the word star might be a stretch.
Yeah.
Sleep.
I will say it's a cute dog.
Eh.
It's a cute dog. I'm not arguing that.
But
It's an ugly dog, but dogs can get away with being ugly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute when dogs are ugly.
We will
The
meet
owner doesn't have that excuse.
someone. Yeah? Guts.
Although
Let's
I
go.
don't know, like I feel like in a way with some of these pitballs,
Pitballs.
because of the breeding, like she probably has breathing problems. You
Well,
know,
we
like-
heard it. We
or
just
he
heard
has
the
breathing
fucking
problems.
breathing
Yeah.
problems.
There's sleep apnea over here.
Yeah.
Give him a CPAP machine for the dog.
Forget about it.
It doesn't fuck properly because anytime it comes, it fucking has an asthma attack.
That's true. He has to jerk the dog off and pinch its nose closed at the same time.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah.
The Rottweiler.
First, we get out the phlegm, and then we get out the poison.
So you would not let this dog fuck Babka, Rob, is what you're saying.
No. I would not let any dog fuck Babka. Babka is too pure to be
Wow.
What if Babka
penetrated in any way.
What if Babka wanted it? She doesn't have agency.
She absolutely does not want it. She is the most asexual dog I've ever encountered.
But you keep her away from all the other.
That's not true at all. We go on off leash all the time at the park with
Is that like
with
raw
very
dog?
high end park slope dogs
Not interested.
that I'm sure are not fucking spayed or neutered.
Circumcised.
So yeah, or circumcised. So and she is not into that kind of playing. If
What
anything,
about when
she
the
likes
vet
to be the
like
top?
checks her anal
Innocent.
glands?
What?
When the vet checks her anal glands,
Uh-huh.
does she
She's
like
very,
that?
No. She's very stressed out at the
Oh.
vet. To the point that they've now given us like mood relaxers to give her
Oh yeah, we have to do that for one of our
before
cats.
going to the vet because
Mhm.
they're like, hey, this is now like it's harder for us to do what we need to do. So you should just
Yeah.
like.
I think we have to
sedate
give her
a
like
little bit.
Xanax or something. It's like some
It's,
like
it's,
that. we
yeah,
can
like
all
doggy
take.
Xanax, basically. Yeah.
Our cat will
Which is
just
what-
like scratch the shit out of all the vet techs if we don't do that.
Yeah, that they had to eventually they put a muzzle on her, which was like the cutest little tiny little muzzle for my cute little dog. She was just stressed out. She doesn't like it. Poor girl. Oh, I want to go hug her now.
Dusty Rose
end the
Muffin
show
wants to
early
know
so I
if she
can
would
hug her
bang
now.
Poochie.
No,
She's the new Noah. We're just gonna ask her what celebrity dogs she would fuck.
Babka likes big, fluffy, like white dogs, like
Oh,
Samoyeds
he's a
or whatever.
racist too. Wow. She's also never.
Well,
seen
she's
Good
Korean,
Times.
so
I was gonna say she's not white herself.
Oh my god.
Dogs
Those
have a different
Korean
race.
women love big white men. But she's got a little more feisty in recent years too. She's a little more quick to defend herself and like show teeth and push back. Whereas before she would just she would go into flight mode, as we'd established. Am I right, folks? Oh, poor girl.
I wasn't gonna go there, but thank you for going there. Oh. Can we
I
play
also
this
know-
commercial that
Oh, yeah.
I linked to? Because since we're in the mode of Russian accents, I feel like this might be my favorite Russian accent I've ever heard.
Oh,
this
shit.
This is a TV commercial that I saw on a local news channel like 2 hours ago. So this is fresh in my mind. And this man's name and accent delighted me to no end. He's Dr. Ernest Buberman.
Yeah, and he's not a plastic surgeon.
No,
Oh,
he's
He
with
looks-
the Brooklyn Disc Center.
before you even play it, he looks like someone that'd be walking around Brighton Beach Avenue.
Yes. Have you ever seen this man before, Rob?
Probably.
Ernest Buberman?
I lived there more recently than he did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Have you? Do you know
No,
Ernest
I do not.
Buberman?
Yes and no, not this literal one, but yes.
Most chronic back problems are caused by compression from the disc becoming thinner and thinner as we get older. All we have to do is put patient on a table and decompress them. Those treatments are so gentle, patients usually fall asleep. They don't have to go through the shots, the surgeries, all the physical therapy or painful invasive procedure or drugs. If you have an MRI scan, we can look at it and tell you if we can help you or not.
Call to us can change your life.
Wow, they got a little jingle, a little basic bitch jingle. That's so funny.
First, we take the electrode.
And
and
thinner.
no, wait. First, we take you off the Zimbabwe.
First, we check your insurance to make sure we can make money off of it.
Then we put
Yeah.
the electrode to your abdominal muscle, and then we vibrate, and you will lose the weight instantly, like the Vince Neil. Can I nominate someone for the best/worst Russian accent?
Yes.
Teddy KGP, aka John Malkovich in the movie.
Oh,
Rounders.
that's a pretty famous one.
Oh, okay. I don't know how famous is it. I always thought I liked, it was like because I like poker and I'm into that. It's famous in poker circles. I don't know if like the
People
public
like
at
that
large.
movie.
It's pretty old.
Is there like a highlight reel on YouTube of Malkovich Russian accent from
There has to
Rounders that we could bust out?
Got a couple of
Okay.
minutes of that. Kids got alligator blood. can't get rid of him.
It's always interesting when like otherwise great actors make like a really weird choice in a role, and it's just like you never think of them the same. Like what was that? There was that one. It was one of those aliens movies, and Forrest Whitaker was in it. It was the one that Amy Adams was in. What was that one called?
One Arrival?
Was that it? Yeah, that sounds right. And Forrest Whitaker, I've talked about it on the show before, I'm pretty sure, where he just doesn't, for some reason, he does like a really awful Boston accent.
Yeah. I don't remember that he did that. But
It has nothing to do with the character. It's completely unnecessary. He clearly showed up and decided that's how he wanted this character to sound, and nobody had the balls to tell him no. And it's like such a fucking mess. But some of these actors, they're very respected, and you can't tell them no. When you're a star, they let you get away with it.
When you're a star, you're a star.
And Teddy KGB in that last scene, he actually says "Big him what?"
And
I think he starts cursing in Russian, but
I'll be interested to see if it's actual Russian words or just gibberish.
just go to the last scene, the final, like the showdown scene of Rounders.
You got that link, Rob?
I gave him a link, but it's in there, but it's like a whole montage of 7 minutes. But
Oh, wow.
it's actually it started at 6:42.
6:42.
Yeah, what I sent 6:40. That's right before he blows up. I think he says "Big him what?"
All your dreams dust. Hops down the fucking drain. Your fate is sitting right beside you. That ace could not have helped you.
He
That's
beats
it.
the wall.
All straight. Motherfucker! You fool your nut! Motherfucker!
Voldemort, I think he said.
What the fuck?
You think he was trying to say "Big him what?"
I don't know what the fuck he was trying to say. What?
Your fate is sitting right beside you. That ace could not have helped
This is
you.
heavily edited, by the way. He shows his hand.
That's
They
it.
cut that out.
All
He nails the look. He's a great actor. He nails the delivery, but like the accent just is cartoonish.
Let this go a little longer.
Motherfucker! That is it!
That's it. What the fuck you talking about? That's it. Take him down, Daddy.
Yeah! No more! No, not tonight! This son of bitch all night, he chick. He trapped me!
Trap.
Well, you feeling satisfied now, Teddy? Because I can go on busting you up all night.
Нет!
Pay him.
He beat me.
Idiot.
Straight up. Pay him.
Pay him.
What is this?
Pay that man his money.
That man.
God, that's gotta be fake. I watched the movie a while back. I don't remember it being that bad. Jesus Christ.
That's the classic line. Pay that man
it.
his
That's
money.
it. What the fuck you talking about? That's it. Take him down, Daddy.
Нет! No more! No, not tonight!
Not tonight.
This son of bitch all night, he chick. He trapped me!
Well, you feeling satisfied now, Teddy? Because I can go on busting you up all night.
Нет! He beat me. Straight up. Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Watch that 100 times.
We need to extract pay that man his money.
Pay him.
And like,
Pie him
clearly
his money.
he's like an intimidating presence in real life. So like, you're not gonna go up to him and be like, dude, that accent's not working. You got to do something else. You just fucking let it go and hope for the best. But holy shit!
I think it like it's sort of a reverse good thing. It works. It makes it so memorable that it's so bad. Like it doesn't detract from the performance at all. I love it. I love that movie because of him in it. Not even ironically. Like it's just so good. He's just a weirdo.
Yeah, he's always, no matter what role he's playing, he is always a fucking weirdo.
Yep.
He's great. Has he ever worked with Christopher Walken?
Is Christopher Walken in Red? They had a bunch of old people in that.
I can't remember. I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
But those are like two classic actor accents that. Where's John Malkovich from? He's not from New York originally, is he? Illinois. Interesting. Same age as Jerry Seinfeld. I bet nobody would walk out on John Malkovich at Duke giving a speech. Imagine he did a commencement speech in that Russian accent.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be wonderful.
Let's start a petition.
I'm not seeing anything where they work together. It's like everything, all the hits for the two of them together are like SNL, where they both were on SNL, but not together. The Daily Show. Conan.
I believe it's pronounced S and L.
Oh, sorry. You're right. No, they've sadly never worked together.
That's a missed opportunity.
I did want to mention I got my blue belt this week in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Got blue balls?
I got blue balls and a blue belt.
Nice. I'd imagine you get a man rolling around with men and you can't do anything with them.
No, I have no time to be horny. I'm too much in survival mode to even consider that.
Let me tell you something. If I was in a BJJ class and I had to roll around with beautiful women all the time, I would not have a choice. It's not like
it's too distracting. There's no way to tune that out.
So I commend you.
There's a way. I don't know. It's just not. Don't tell me how my body works, okay?
I didn't. I'm speaking to my experience.
And also, I do roll around with beautiful women. There
are
very beautiful women in my gym.
Okay. I didn't know there was intergender rolling.
Yeah. In fact, this one girl at the kind of like after party was like, you can come harder for me. And I'm like, say that again, but slower. No.
You can come harder. What kind of party is this?
I don't think that's the exact phrase that she used, but she was essentially like, hey, like, you don't have to hold back as much with me. Because to be clear, this is a like 5'6", 100-pound girl.
Now, were you holding back, or did she suddenly like shade you?
Oh, absolutely.
You were holding back when you were giving
No, because one of the main forms of offense, if you're on top, is using your weight. And with some of the smaller people, I try to be a little more considerate and not just completely squash them. Yeah. But in my own, I don't know if this is a defense, but like it is also something that I have to work on in general, because I'm just so used to in life not squashing people, like truthfully, like not wanting to do that, where I had to like reprogram myself to be like, no, be vicious, Rob. This is your time. This is use what God gave you.
Oh my God.
That's right. But
So
no,
next
I'm very excited. What's that?
Next time you're just gonna fully lay on top of her with all your weight until she.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, go ahead.
Like Fred Berry on his wedding night.
No, but I as someone who is incredibly cynical and usually pretty nihilistic, it was a very cool achievement. I was actually moved by it.
Oh. Did you know it was coming, or did they surprise you somehow with this belt?
Well, they didn't they don't tell you, but I basically knew it was coming just based on my previous belt ranking, and
which was what?
Well, I was a 4-stripe white belt, which is the highest.
And what's next
amount of
after what
stripes.
you currently have?
Blue belt. Well, now I would have
Get
to
the
get
stripes.
4 stripes,
And
then it would be a purple belt.
Okay.
But that's still like the journey from white belt to blue belt is much quicker than the journey from blue belt to purple belt.
Well, yeah, they want to string it out so they get more money out of you. That's how this fucking scam works.
Well, also blue belt has the highest amount of turnover of like, all right, well, I achieved, this is enough. I don't need to do
Okay.
anymore.
And then there's purple, and then it's black after that.
No, there's one more, brown, and then black. But I would say like once you're brown, you're in. Once you're brown, you're down.
Boy, Rob.
It's like the brown belts are really, really tough.
You're treading on some ground today.
And it's so funny because like in our morning class, the 2 brown belts are like, and I don't mean this.
Oh boy.
I don't want to sound insulting, but
you're about to say the R word.
No, not at all. They don't look threatening at all. Like if you were to see them in street clothes on the street, like it's just like, oh, one of them is an attorney, a defense attorney, and one of them just kind of looks like a grad student, I would say,
What does that mean? It looks
I don't know, just looks like a studier. They don't look, but they would destroy you. Like if you step to them, you would die. You would die.
I don't step to people, Rob.
You don't, Sid. Don't step to these people. You would die. Sid, why are you stepping?
Verbally to the point
How about
where you
me?
won't be able to lift a finger to fight me.
But
would I die? I actually grew up fighting.
I will say 99% of people would be fucked.
Okay, fair enough.
This one guy would
fight. I'm a little older now. My knees are a little bit creaky, but I think I can still handle it.
You don't have the technique.
I have a different technique. I'm not saying those 2 guys might be the best BJJ in the world. I'm not saying I could kick anyone's ass. I'm just saying don't dismiss street fighting style also.
Oh, I don't dismiss it, but a lot of jiu-jitsu though is to defend against street fighting. It's to grab the arm as someone's punching you, and like put them in an arm lock. Like it's to prevent the other person from moving anymore.
I understand how it works.
But Darren also has the Hadouken. How do you defend against that big shot?
It's indefensible.
He said street fighter.
Yes. I would put 20-year-old me against most people, but now I'm a little bit out of shape.
When you say most people, do you mean brown belts in jiu-jitsu? Like 20-year-old you against a brown belt?
There's an echelon of people that I could not beat who are trained in martial arts like heavily, but I mean, I think the vast majority of people I could at least hold my own.
20-year-old do you think you could take on 40-year-old blue belt Rob?
Oh shit!
I think I don't know. I think it would be an interesting fight. You have a size advantage on me too.
One thing I will say,
I don't know how you fight. I can't answer that. I honestly don't know. I don't see you at.
I wouldn't have been offended if you said.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm not.
You have the age advantage.
I wouldn't be offended to say yes if I thought that, but I'm being fair. Like I don't know what you've learned. I don't see you in action, so I'm not going to dismiss you. I'm very proud of you. What you've been doing with yourself.
No, thank you.
I'm proud of the gains you made with your body, but I'm just saying I was a really good fighter when I was younger.
I will say that while I'm not looking for a fight, I am
next week.
I am less privy now to walk away from it, like to diffuse a fight in the sense of like, no, it's okay, it's fine. I'm sorry, like what I will be like, oh really?
Has that happened? Have you been in that situation?
No, I barely go out. But
have you been in a situation
like if I go out, we're going to brunch.
So how do you know how you would react?
I mean, like if at a concert, I don't know. I have also never been in a situation where fighting would be required.
Dusty Rhodes Muffler says he has a blue belt in box cutter. Yeah, fight back against that, Rob.
That's fair.
Well, aren't you supposed to learn that shit into someone?
Yeah.
Box cutter.
Yeah, absolutely. Just disable that out, like hold that wrist.
I had a guy pull out a knife on me on Sheepshead Bay Road once.
What?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I was walking by a guy walking with his girlfriend, and I said something like a good citizen thing. I don't know, like maybe her bag was open or something. I can't remember exactly. It was purely like her shoe was something. I don't know. I said something to the girl, but it wasn't like, "Hey, nice tits." It was like, "Your bag is open." To use that as an example, and the guy turned to me like, "Why are you minding my business for?"
Oh boy.
And then I was like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't say nothing like negative to your girlfriend. He's like, and he whipped a knife at it. Went straight to knife.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, I was so proud of myself how I handled the situation. I was like, "Look, you want to stab me, or do you want to be a man and put the knife down, and I'll fight you like straight up?" And the guy was like, "Okay." And he put the knife down. I beat the fucking living shit out of him. I must have been like 23 or something. I don't know.
Whoa.
But you have to. That's the whole thing. That's part of. You ever hear the Bruce Lee, The Art of Fighting Without Fighting? It's like you make the person agree to an advantageous situation. You don't necessarily have to know how to defend against a knife. If I fought the guy with a knife, he would have killed me.
And then that guy grew up to be Mayor Eric Adams.
I wouldn't doubt it. No, he's too tall. It was he looked like a linebacker.
Oh, geez.
But he was fat. It wasn't like scary big. It was like he was a fat fuck.
That man grew up to be Fred Berry.
Could have been. No, oh man, that was the heyday of Fred Berry then. Well, was it? Yeah.
Fred Berry in his prime.
Yeah, 23. It was 1997, I guess.
Oh yeah, so he still had 6 years of life left in him that you could have beaten out of him. You could have sent Fred Berry to the grave 6 years sooner if he had only fucked around and found out. Shame.
I love Fred Berry. Why would I do that? I saw Fred Berry recently in a video. Someone took the Rick Ross song "Every Day I'm Hustling" and they just synced it to Fred Berry dancing on.
Oh, nice. So he lives on.
Yeah.
What a Fred Berry tribute episode this has been.
Who knew? You never know where you're going to get with this show.
That's for sure. Well, I don't know what we're going to get with this show half the time. And I see the rundown.
Yeah. I bet, like Darren, when you woke up this morning, you didn't think your good friend Rob would basically threaten to beat you up on this show.
Or fantasize about beating me
up,
20 years ago.
Very aggressive.
Time travel device. I don't blame you. I'm happy for Rob that he has a newfound fighting spirit. You know, I hope you do get into a fight and beat the person's ass. So you can feel that exhilaration.
It's like Fight Club. Can you go and pick a fight with somebody? Just force them to engage with you?
It's funny. Like I know exactly what Rob's saying. Like you don't want to get into a fight. You're not going to go pick a fight, but you're ready. Like you want to employ the new skills that you have.
Yeah.
I get it. I used to feel like that. Like when I go around, like I'm waiting for somebody to fuck with me today, you know.
What if it ends up being Hoist Gracie though?
I wish a motherfucker would. Yeah, first I'd be like, wait, hold on. Do you train jiu-jitsu and what rank are you? Then no, I don't want to fight you. No. Oh, you don't train jiu-jitsu? Okay, yeah, let's go.
I only know how to start this fight if I mount you first. Can I do?
That's true. You know, like we do already. I don't have much training in standing position because we start sitting down on the mat to avoid injuries.
Before we get into this, can you please lie down on the floor?
Their knees.
Hey.
You have to trick
I'll
it. Throw a $100 bill on the ground or something.
But no, we do practice takedowns. We just don't do it in our live sparring rounds.
But to speak to Sid's point, I think you were joking, Sid, but about like, well, what if the guy kicks my ass? But I think in going back to my stupider days, I didn't care. Like I would get into a fight like because of the quote unquote like honor of whatever the principle was. And I was like, if the guy kicks my ass, he kicks my ass, but I'm not going to stand here and be a pussy.
I was that way in elementary school and junior high school, and then I stopped being that way.
Yeah, you're the smart one. I was the one that got myself in danger of bodily harm because I didn't grow out of that until later.
I just learned to say my insults at more of a distance.
Or to like people with a clear physical disability.
Yeah.
But Rob
got married.
Rob's on the opposite end. He's going into that phase now.
Yeah.
I wish your motherfucker would.
Yeah. Okay, that's the trifecta of accents today. If you brown you down, and what was the other one? It was something about Curtis Blow. Or no, that was before the show. Who was it? Who else were we talking about?
There was the Russian accents. There was Steve-O.
Oh, he
there was
did
Joan
specifically
Rivers.
a black accent 3 times today is what I meant.
One of the drag queens.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
I'll see it in the clips.
I remember, but I don't remember what it was that I said.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about
Something
our Spotify
about how
playlist.
affirmative action is bad, I think, is what you were saying.
Yeah, stop it. Each week we each pick a song. We throw it on a playlist on Spotify. You could search for it's the RIP Livecast music break, and it's very nice. It's very nice. There's about 674 songs, exactly 674 songs currently. 45 hours of music, all good stuff. My pick this week, I went deep with Early Ministry from their first album. Ministry, of course, known to be an industrial band, but their first album, not at all industrial. It's very much new wave kind of punk and very catchy. And there was this goth fest in Pasadena last weekend, and they actually played songs from their first album for the first time in 30 years or whatever, and it sounded great.
More
it
than
really
30
made
years,
me,
probably.
Yeah, it really made me regret not flying out. That would have been a fun show to see because there was just all these cool new wave.
Just wait till next year when they're at the Castle Hotel in Parsippany.
You're right.
You can
Well,
check 'em out
the
there.
sound here looked a little better than
Yeah.
than the castle in Parsippany. Like this was an actual festival. It wasn't a goth festival, a goth hangout con that also had music at it. You know what I mean? It was called Cruel World. Also, Gary Newman did The Pleasure Principle in full, which was very cool. I've now really gotten into YouTube bootlegs. Phones are good enough where the sound is pretty great. So it's been pretty nice. I watched like the whole set. It's nice.
So you're encouraging people to film concerts with their phones now?
For me, yeah, just one person. Designate one person
That
with
I'm
a
okay
good
with.
quality phone for archiving purposes, and that's it. So that's my pick. Darren, what did you pick?
Well, I picked a throwback old school hip hop song called Delancey Street, New York themed, by the rapper Dana Dane. I don't know. You familiar with Dana Dane, you guys?
I
No.
definitely was. I haven't thought of him in probably 25 years. But
I was on Delancey Street the other day, and I just
nice.
thought of it. I started humming it to myself, and then I said, "Let me go play this." But what I didn't know about Dana Dane this whole time, I thought he was British because he raps with a British accent, and this whole time I just thought he was British, but it turns out it was all put on, and he's from Brooklyn, Fort Greene, Brooklyn.
that sounds right.
So that's wild. But now that I listened back to the song, it's very clear that it's a fake accent. It doesn't sound British at all. And I don't know how I bought this. I guess as a kid I bought it.
Is Slick Rick actually British?
I think he is, but maybe. Oh, that wasn't it. Didn't he have like visa problems because he got arrested? I think.
Something.
I think he actually is British, but maybe Dana.
Yes,
Dane
he's
is
from Mitcham in the United
Oh.
Kingdom. Slick Rick, what age would you guess he is?
70.
57.
59, very close, Darren. I would have guessed much older than that.
Oh, I guessed that because he was really young when he was rapping.
He always looked very old, though. The gold tooth, the eye patch. He looked like a weathered pirate from day one.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, it was great.
And wasn't that like a fake thing that he got in trouble for? Or
Wasn't
did he
it like statutory rape, maybe?
Oh no, that's not fake. I thought he got framed, but I don't want to say anything because I don't know and I just vaguely remember that it was like there was like a Free Slick Rick thing, and he didn't really do what he said they said he did. He was being railroaded. But
Oh no, looks like it's attempted murder.
oh, what did they do to him? Maybe he deserved it.
But none of them died.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
Fair.
David Patterson gave him a full pardon.
Oh, good for him. The former governor of New York.
Yeah, who was legally blind, so he related to the eye patch situation.
Oh, it's not nice.
What? It's true. Probably
Well, Fred Armisen used to play him on SNL occasionally
one of his best bits.
because he looks exactly. I mean, no other reason other than he looks exactly like.
Just from the way what he did on Weekend Update, just like shambling about the studio and walking into the. I don't even then. It was like, wow, I can't believe they're getting away with this. But all right, it's pretty funny. They're just straight up making fun of a blind person for being blind. They did it. It was fine. They got a pass somehow.
Sid, what is it?
Karen Dio is a Brazilian female Riot Girl style punk singer that I discovered a couple weeks ago on the Sirius XM. She has a song called Sick Ride, and it is extremely catchy and really good. I don't think she has a full album out yet. I think it's just singles. But it's very fun, very rockin', very catchy, sing-along-y. Karen Dio, no relation to Ronnie James. That's my pick.
All right. And if you want to show us a little extra support, we'd always love it. Obviously, the show is free. It's going to be free. If you want to show your support, throw us a few bonesies.
Oh, and RIP stands for Rob is problematic because of all the stuff he said today.
Throw us some bones. $5 a month gets you access to 2 bonus episodes every month and our nearly 5-year archive of bonus episodes. Now we've been doing the Patreon for 5 years. It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. And so we hope you could support us. Patreon.com/RIPLivecast. We have a whole timeless episode waiting for you, ready to go. We just posted it a few days ago. We talk about a ridiculous story where a guy got shot in a Chipotle for charging extra for guac. And then the other 2 stories that we discuss is the man with the biggest penis in the United Kingdom and a gay for pay porn star who is doing a GoFundMe for penis enlargement. So lots of important stories. Some of which a little too hot for TV, a little too hot for the main YouTube channel. So this Patreon, we do some of our more explicit stories like this. So it's a fun time. Patreon.com/RPLivecast. And $10 gets you a shout out at the end of the show, which is right now. How are we doing it?
I sort of want to say just do it in an offensive accent, but
no.
Why don't for each of these people you share one interesting nugget about your new podcast that you're doing?
Oh, what? I don't know how I'm going to do this, but Eric, did you know I'm starting a podcast about the Attitude Era of WWE? Benjamin, it's with Tommy Blocka, the former head writer of WWE.
Wait, hold
Dan
on.
R, he's the guy who took
Is it
over
Blocka or Blaha?
Blaha.
Okay.
It's like that. Dan R, he took over for Vince Russo. He was also a writer on Conan O'Brien. Mindy Mayer-Skippa, he was also the voice of William Murderface, the co-creator of the series Death Clock. Shasur Sasusits, new episodes come out every Monday. Lando Danks, you can go to talesfromtheattitudeera.com to subscribe and get more info. LaCroix, I'm out of things to say about this new show.
You only had 6.
LaCroix, did you know that Robert Blacha was present when Mae Young gave birth to a hand?
That's true. He wrote the story, and he was the doctor in the room. Corey and Scotty H. Did you know that he also was the one who told Mae Young that she was going to go through a table by the Dudleys? And Aaron, he was the one that wrote the housekeeping match with Chyna and Jeff Jarrett. Douglas, who are you, Levison? Also the Stephanie McMahon Triple H wedding elope angle thing he wrote. Jander, The Godfather, Randy Blatt, The Hose. All right, that's our show, folks.
Oh, I
Check
thought you
out
were
my
saying
new
he
show,
wrote The
Tales-
Godfather. I was going to say.
Oh my God.
He was like 2 years old then.
The show is Tales from the Attitude Era. You can go to talesfromtheattitudeera.com. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. It comes out on Monday. And we'll be back next Saturday. Until then, we love you. We kiss you. Bye-bye.
And Rob, even though you threatened me with a fight, I'm very proud of you for your new podcast.
Oh, thank you.